However, before they could leave, the very thing Lin Wonk feared happened. Her classmates noticed her and called out for help. Lin Wonk became furious. She couldn't believe that Li Yingwen, one of her classmates, was desperately shouting amid so many zombies, potentially dragging them all down with him. All the noise quickly drew the zombies' attention. Panicking, Lin Wonk burst into tears and apologized to Subai for getting him involved. In response, Subai summoned his enslaved zombies to fight, boasting that he had once slain the 9th demon lord of the underworld. He declared that these lowly undead were not worthy opponents. Although his summoned zombies managed to kill many of them, there were simply too many. Subai lost 2 of his contracted zombies, and his mutated zombie was also in trouble. He realized that dealing with 10 zombies at once was already his limit given his current strength. If they wanted to turn the tide and survive, he needed to lure some of the zombies away. He asked Lin Wonk if there was anything nearby that could produce a loud sound. Lin Wonk remembered her smartphone and handed it to Subai, who had never seen such a device before. He was baffled by the idea that a small box could make a loud noise. Instead of explaining, Lin Wonk simply turned on the phone's music. Subai was astonished by how loud the sound was coming from what he called a small metal box. Drawn by the blaring music, many of the zombies attacking the mutated zombie turned their attention towards Subai. Overjoyed by this new magical tool, he threw the smartphone to his mutated zombie slave. The mutated zombie caught the phone and started running, drawing most of the horde away. With so many zombies in pursuit of the mutated zombie, Subai and his remaining undead were free to dispatch the remaining threats one by one. Lin Wonk was amazed that such a simple trick had worked. However, Subai grabbed her hand and reminded her they had no time to celebrate. They needed to leave before more zombies arrived. Moments later, both of them managed to escape safely to the classroom building. Once they were out of danger, Lin Wonk thanked Subai again for saving her life. She admitted that without him, she would never have made it this far. Subai replied that it was no big deal. She had helped him locate an advanced zombie, and in return he had saved her. Both of them benefited. Not long after, Lin Wonk's classmates also managed to escape safely, thanks to Subai's zombies having distracted and slain most of the undead. However, they quickly noticed that Lin Wonk was carrying a large bag of supplies. They were thrilled to see Lin Wonk return with so many supplies. With that amount, they believed they could wait for a rescue team to arrive. However, Lin Wonk scoffed and reminded everyone that these supplies were obtained by Mr. Subai, and she had no right to distribute them on his behalf. Li Mingguan was furious. He told Lin Wonk that there was no point in distinguishing yours and his in a crisis like this. Other students also needed these supplies to survive. Another one of Lin Wonk's classmates, sensing the tense atmosphere, stepped in and suggested they all stop arguing and return to the classroom first. They could decide how to distribute the supplies once they were somewhere safer. Turning to Subai, he also invited him to join them, saying they should all stick together in times like these. Subai and Lin Wonk followed them back to the classroom. On the way, Lin Wonk apologized to Subai for the trouble, but assured him that she would not let anyone touch his share of the supplies. Subai told her not to worry. His only goal was to find the advanced zombie. Still, he asked how she could be certain these people would listen to her. She replied that there were many teachers among the survivors, so nobody would dare do anything extreme. Subai simply smiled and said they had better behave, or he couldn't guarantee their safety. Meanwhile, the bold student whispered to Li Yingwen that he had seen the bag was full of food. With so many supplies, they could sustain themselves for at least a month until rescue arrived. Lying nodded but worried that Lin Wonk wouldn't agree. And then there was also the matter of Subai. Another student chimed in, saying that now they were back on their territory, Lin Wonk and Subai couldn't simply refuse. If they cooperated, they might receive something in return. If not, they would have to deal with them the hard way. Moments later, they arrived at the classroom door. Li Mingxuan called out to the teacher to open up, announcing they had brought supplies. The teacher, relieved to see them safe, invited everyone inside and asked for the supplies to be handed out. As Subai entered, he noticed that many survivors were present. They had managed to avoid the zombies so far, perhaps because the undead hadn't swarmed this area yet. The same bold student pressed Lin Wonk to distribute the supplies right away, complaining that they hadn't eaten anything for 3 days. Gritting her teeth in frustration, Lin Wonk said she would only give out half. Mr. Subai owned the other half, and they had no right to touch it. Li Mingguan scoffed and asked why a single person needed so much food. He offered to buy Subibai's share at 10 times the market price. Looking at Subibai, he asked if he minded selling. Subai smiled and agreed. In that moment, Li Mingguan tried to claim all of Lin Wonk's supplies, forgetting that Subibai was no pushover. Subibai promptly summoned his mutated zombie slave, ready to attack Li Yingguan. Seeing the monster appear inside the classroom, everyone panicked and scrambled for safety. Only then did they realize the zombie seemed to be under Subibai's control. Subai grabbed Li Mingguan by the collar and snarled that because of Li Mingguan's earlier actions, he had lost 2 undead minions. Yet Li Mingguan still dared to demand Subibai's supplies. Li Mingguan apologized profusely and begged for his life. Subibai asked, "Should I kill you, or should I take your soul to make up for my losses?" Terrified, Li Yingguan pleaded with his classmates Zhang Hao and Gumming to intercede, since they were the ones who had come up with the plan in the first place. Zhang Hao and Gumming quickly denied any involvement, insisting it was all Ling Xuan's idea and that he alone should bear the blame. Ling Xuan was shocked at the betrayal, cursing them for abandoning him. He turned to Lin Wonk, begging her to ask Subai to spare him. He promised he would never try to steal supplies again. Subai was curious how Lin Wonk would react. Surprisingly, she apologized on Li Mingguan's behalf and asked Subai to forgive him just this once for everyone's sake. She said they could take her share of the supplies, but no one was to touch Subai's. Watching her selfless behavior, Subai realized that she truly might not be the treacherous disciple he once knew, despite her resemblance. Deciding he no longer needed to keep her close, he told Lin Wonk that now that she had found her companions, it was time for him to leave and continue searching for the advanced zombie. But Lin Wonk stopped him, claiming that she knew where the creature he was seeking might be. When Subibai asked if she had actually seen it, she said no, but she could sense a terrifying presence somewhere in the school. This startled Subai. Her ability to sense spiritual power suggested an innate spiritual physique. He was astonished because, to his knowledge, no one else in the world had such a physique except his lost disciple. Could she truly be that woman suffering from memory loss? Or was there some other explanation? In the original Cultivation realm, before Subi was betrayed by his disciples, Lin Wonk approached him, requesting to become his disciple. In response, Subai told her that he would only accept her if she found something for him first. Lin Wonk successfully found what Subibai had asked for and returned, requesting again to be accepted as his disciple. When Subibai asked how she managed to locate it, Lin Wonk respectfully bowed before him and replied, "I was born with the ability to track and trace. If you accept me as your disciple, I will be the sword in your hand. I will never let you down." Seeing her determination, Subai accepted her as his second disciple. With her innate spiritual physique, her future achievements would not fall short of his own. However, Lin Wonk humbly told him, "My life was saved by you. I would never dream of surpassing you. I only wish to serve by your side and ease your burdens." Subai walked up to her and said, "Stop calling me senior. Now that you're my disciple, you should call me master." That was the moment Subai learned that Lin Wonk possessed the innate spiritual physique. Although he wasn't sure how she had lost her past memories, for him, it didn't matter. He was still planning to kill her. He extended his hand to capture her soul and make her his servant, dooming her to eternal soul refinement. But suddenly, Lin Wonk grabbed Subai's hand and urgently warned, "That thing I've been sensing, it's really coming this way. We must leave now before it's too late." Hearing this, Subai fell silent. Then, in the next moment, he burst into laughter like a madman, shocking everyone in the room. He thought to himself, "I nearly killed her just now, but this is an innate spiritual physique, a one-of-a-kind rare body. Killing her outright would be such a waste. Rather than that, I'll treat her as a chess piece." Once she outlives her usefulness, I won't shortchange her. She'll have her own place inside the soul banner. Meanwhile, the mutated monster Lin Wonk had warned about approached the building. It had sensed Subyubai's spiritual energy and followed it here to where Subyubai and the others were gathered. This mutated creature was intelligent, and it had recently been lucky enough to absorb a trace of spiritual energy to recharge its core. If not for that, it too would have eventually turned into one of those half-human, half-ghost abominations. When it detected the presence of spiritual energy in this barren world, it was thrilled. Finally, a chance to break through to the next realm. Standing in front of the university building, the mutated beast looked up, then leaped straight through the upper floor, crashing into the room where Subyubai and the others were. Seeing the creature, Subai thought, is this the powerful entity Lin Wonk mentioned? A mutated snake demon? But as he observed it more closely, something felt off. This mutated beast's aura, it felt familiar. The students in the room panicked, screaming and trying to escape. But to their horror, the door was locked. They couldn't get out. Lin Wonk pointed at the beast and exclaimed, "This is the same creature I saw by the man-made lake. It has the same aura I've been sensing all this time." Subai was surprised. This mutated snake demon, it actually possesses spiritual energy. This isn't some ordinary mutant. This is a demon beast from the cultivation realm. But then he wondered, why would such a creature appear in a place like this? The mutated snake demon sneered and spoke, "Even though this world lacks spiritual energy and is crawling with ghostly pests, it's far more fun than that wretched cultivation realm. I can feast on humans freely here without interference from those damned cultivators." It grabbed one of the students to devour. The terrified student cried for help. The teacher, Bing, turned to Lin Wonk and begged her to ask Subai to save the students. "If he can protect them, I will do anything he asks." Subai glanced at her coldly and said, "Whether I can or not is beside the point. What do their lives have to do with me?" Still desperate, the teacher pleaded, "I'll pay you a lot of money. Just save them." But Subai rejected her offer. "I'm not interested in money. Don't worry. Once you're all dead, I'll collect your souls." As the snake demon devoured the student, Subyubai ordered his mutated zombie to attack. The zombie leapt into the air and struck from behind, knocking the mutated snake demon to the ground. As the beast lay unconscious, the zombie jumped on top of it to finish it off. But suddenly, the snake demon's eyes flew open. It extended its tongue, wrapping it tightly around Subyubai's zombie. Staring at Subyubai, it said, "I knew it. My nose wasn't wrong. There really is spiritual energy here. Unbelievable. A cultivator in this world. Their strength may be weak, but it's enough." Just as it grew excited, Subai's zombie kicked its mouth, freeing itself from the demon's tongue grip. Subai smirked. "So the mutated snake demon is coming for me after sensing my spiritual energy. Doesn't matter, I'll just take it down. A monster in the foundation stage. In the past, this kind of trash wouldn't have been worthy of Subyubai's attention. But now, when his cultivation is only at the spiritual sea realm, he has to be more cautious. These people, killing them and refining their souls might just be enough for him to break through." Turning to them, he coldly announced, "Unfortunately, in my current condition, I can't handle that thing. You're all on your own. If you're willing to join my 10,000 souls banner and help me break through, there may be a sliver of hope." He smirked, saying, "Of course you can refuse. But if you do, I'll leave, and no one can stop me. What happens after that won't be my responsibility." Everyone sat frozen in silence. Terrified, no one dared to speak. Seeing that no one was willing to sacrifice themselves, Subai turned to leave. Lin Wonk tried to stop him, but before she could, her teacher, Li, stepped forward and said, "I'll sacrifice myself. In exchange, please take my students to safety." At that moment, Subai noticed a glowing purple crystal hanging around teacher Li's neck. His eyes narrowed, realizing that it was a spiritual stone. He grabbed the crystal and asked coldly, "Where did you get this?" Teacher Li hesitated for a second before replying that her father had found it by chance many years ago. Seeing Sububai's obvious interest, Teacher Lee handed him the stone and begged, "Please, just protect my students." Inspecting it closely, Sububai confirmed, "This is indeed a product of the immortal realm. The quality isn't low either. The spiritual power inside, it's on par with a top-grade spiritual stone." But what puzzled him was, how did something like this end up in this world? Could it be that his and Lin Wang's rebirth here wasn't a coincidence? If that's true, then maybe his other disciples are here too. Just then, the system detected the spiritual stone and prompted, "Would you like to use this item to enhance the 10,000 souls banner? Doing so will increase your control level over the undead by 1 tier." Subai was stunned. He didn't expect that spiritual stones could directly upgrade the banner. He made a mental note that he needed to collect more of these in the future. He accepted the item and agreed to Teacher Lee's request, telling her, "Wait here and don't run." Meanwhile, the mutated snake demon, enraged after being attacked by Sububai's mutated zombie, roared, "How dare you steal from me?" It charged straight at Sububai, intending to kill and refine him to boost its own cultivation. But Sububai had already begun absorbing the spiritual stone's energy. He commanded his zombie, "Block it. Don't let it get close." The zombie charged in, but the mutated snake demon dodged easily, grabbing the zombie and slamming it into a nearby wall. Then it noticed something Subai's aura. It was rapidly growing stronger. He was breaking through. The snake demon growled in panic. "If I don't stop him now, it'll be a problem later. But before that, I need to squash this bug." Punched Subai's zombie, sending him flying out of the building. Now rid of the distraction, the demon laughed and charged towards Sububai. But just as it approached, its entire body froze. Primal fear surged up, warning it, "Danger." Subai smiled, his body glowing with spiritual light. "My 10,000 souls banner needs a foundation beast for sacrifice," he said calmly. "And that's you." The mutated snake demon was stunned. What is happening? Suddenly, Subai's mutated zombie, now evolved from the ordinary class to the evolutionary class, returned, towering over the snake demon. It grabbed the creature by the neck. Subai gave the command to kill it. The zombie stabbed its sharp claws into the demon's chest, piercing clean through. Then it lifted the demon into the air and hurled it across the building. But just before falling, the mutated demon clung to the edge and caught itself. Breathing heavily, it realized that it had underestimated Sububai. It didn't expect him to break through mid-battle. Still, it wasn't ready to give up. Roaring, "It's not enough to defeat me!" It let out a piercing cry, summoning the nearby zombies to swarm in and help it kill these humans. What happens next? Stay tuned, the next part is coming soon. Don't miss it, and make sure to watch the next episode.